Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This is our second conversation and still on the topic of waters. We are jumping into our second conversation, but this one is a celebration of legacy and it's all about the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. I understand this, when we say legacy, Paul, we're talking almost 100 years of legacy.
A lot of years.
But to help us break it down and understand the significance even more this morning is we have here with us Roberto Pott. He is the vice chair of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. Also joining us, no stranger to you guys, but in a different capacity this morning, is Miss Beverly Coleman. She's one of the committee members of the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
A pleasure.
Welcome. Thank you.
Now, 97 years, quite a long time.
Yes.
And I imagine there has been several changes since then, since we're talking about some of those changes just earlier for different races. But this is a big deal. I know that the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta brings out its own fans as well for people who have enjoyed watching. I know there are some persons who also participate. But for people who might have been living under a rock and still don't understand the significance of this initiative, what is the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta?
Well, it's been around since 1927. Baron Bliss came here, fell in love with Belize, saw the sailing boats in the harbor, and decided to sponsor the first race. And that there is the Baron Bliss Trust that has a long-going support for the regatta. It's a small contribution, but it's gone through its growth phases over the years. I mean, there was a big challenge when we were even thinking of bringing in fiberglass boats. And again, the spirit of the Harbor Regatta is to make it something, a local grown, built out of local materials. And so even bringing in fiberglass boats was going against the tradition.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what helps us to stay focused. We knew we had to do the fiberglass boats when we brought in some small boats. It's an optimist class, they call it, a small boat for youth sailing. But that was part of trying to expand sailing. The Harbor Regatta helped to form the first Belize Sailing Association. And so that's been the growth over the years. And we've had some very successful years, heydays. Beverly is sailing royalty.
Yeah.
How important is maintaining tradition in a race that's or an event that's so long-standing? And when you speak about tradition, is there room for modernization in tradition? For
sure. I mean, and that's been our tagline, sailing into the future. There's some basics. I mean, there's some basics to sailing. Once you learn to sail a small boat, you can scale up to a bigger boat. And some of our, even me, I've taken up a career in marine conservation. Just coming out of sailing, I came out of the Sir George Brown sailing camp. We used to have sailing camps. We used to have some serious fights on the seaside after a race. But we learned how to work through our differences. And again, a lot of those were traditional wooden boats, sailing sloops, sailing dories, kindola. There's a huge tradition. And that's one of the things that we want to try and foster. Colette Bonas Mejia is the chair, and he has a big tent approach, and that's what I think brought us back into the Harbor Regatta Committee, because we want to foster that community spirit.
As we see on screen right now, just some pictures of perhaps persons that have participated in the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. But for me, what strikes immediately is the differences in boats, right? For us, I am exposed to the canoe. You know, I come from a village, I say dory, you know. But when I think of sailing, it's kind of like, I don't even think I've ever seen someone sail before, or even been on a sailboat before.
So
you mentioned, yeah, right? You mentioned Miss Beverly being sailing royalty, and I have to ask, what got you into this as well? And how does it differ from navigating a dory, which I might have been in?
Roberto likes to say that I'm sailing royalty, but I am not up with the technical aspects of sailing. How I became involved is that my dad became a member of this committee way back in 1972. And every year for the Harbor Regatta, I used to accompany him to the races. So I actually grew up with the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta. And I like to joke and say whether I wanted to go or not, I had to go to Harbor Regatta. So it became a passion of mine. Yeah. And over the years, after I, became an adult and started working, and in the profession that I work, not every year I'm able to be off for March 9th. And so my daughter started going with my dad to the races, but my dad served on this committee for a very, very long time. And we used to always tease him because, as Roberta was talking about earlier, the growing pains of going through the growing pains. So sometimes he would come home from meetings and from the races and be frustrated, and he would say, "This is the last year." And only for the following year to be right back in it again, So that is how I grew up. And so Harbor Regatta has always held a special place in my heart. And I'm happy now that I can actually be a part of the committee and contribute in some way, shape, or form.
After 97 years, for me, it's good to hear that you all have gone through the growing pains and that you've survived it. I think it's a testament for a lot of traditional events and activities across the country that perhaps are going through some storms and some rough waves, if you would, or rough periods. To see that you all have survived this long, I think is a testament. What will this year's event look like?
This year, we are overjoyed to say that the Belize City Council is giving us their 100% support, and they will be having a Harbor Regatta Festival the same time that the regatta is taking place, and it will be in the same venue along Seashore Drive in the Buttonwood Bay area. And so that collaboration with the City Council, we are so thankful for. And so this year, we will have the races for the regatta, but we will also have the Belize City Council's Harbor Regatta Festival.
Which will bring out even more people to understand the significance of this race. I want to go back to understanding sailing, though, because for me, I've never witnessed that. Mr. Pot, were you an active participant in this competition in the past?
Yes.
Tell me about what it was like for you back then.
Well,
or are you still sailing now?
Back then, like the man way back. Tell me about way back then, man.
Tell me about 19 yes.
Well, the funny story I have is that when I got recruited in, all Mr. Brown wanted was a lightweight person that he could use as life ballast, and then one natural bailer too.
So the man use you.
A natural bailer. How you become naturally a bailer?
You just have to
dip out the water.
Dip and not throw away the bailer. But it was great to see the various pictures of the boat, the sailing dories, the sailing lighters, and again, the organizers for the event, the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta Committee, has been focused on trying to make it a sustainable event, both by making it family friendly, spectator friendly. We've had our internal rifts because we wanted to bring the race closer to the shore, and Colette Mejia insisted that we make this visible to the spectators, because we used to have it out by out by Memorial Park, out by Fort George, and the boats are way out there. You have to have binoculars. You have to be really tuned into the race. But now that we brought it into Buttonwood Bay, you can see the boats right from the shore, and somebody will be there to explain. We're hoping to have a PA system so that you understand the dynamics of the race. There's a lot of things that we have to give credit to the clubs. There are two outstanding clubs, Corozal Bay Sailing Club and Placencia Sailing Club. And there's a lot of things that helps to make this sustainable, because we've always invested back into the clubs. Our event maybe runs $10,000 for the whole event.
Wow.
And a lot of the prizes are invested back, sales, equipment for the sailors, but the clubs have to carry this for the rest of the year because this is one event out of the calendar of events.
The March wind helps, I would imagine, along with some strategy, some sailing strategy, correct? Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, this is a race.
Yes. And it's very, very, very competitive.
Yeah, we're
among
looking at on the screen some
yes,
of... Yeah.
very, very competitive. And what I enjoy seeing is to see female sailors out there. You know, it is awesome to see these young people engaging in healthy competition.
If I could have a swimmer, I want to do it.
You don't have to learn how to
Just put
swim.
on a life vest.
Yeah.
You're
Because we
right.
recruit people, at least because I also had the Belize Scouts, and we recruit people from 11 years up. It doesn't matter your gender. And Bev makes a good point. Almost everybody's on equal footing. We wanted to make it what we call a match racing. So it's your skill. It's not the investment in the boat or the type of equipment, because we had big confrontations because people will spend on more boats, more expensive boats and equipment.
But about
once
skills.
It's all about your skills. And again, the community spirit, sportsmanship.
This
That's
looks
cool,
so
right?
exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, right? I
And
would-
we're launching, one of the other big announcements for us is that we are launching the Mike Usher Memorial Trophy.
Wow.
He's the father of former Brigadier General Alan Usher, who was a sailing fan, spends a lot of time in Gales Point, or spent a lot of time in Gales Point, and people who enjoyed the seafront. And I think that's what we want to, again, foster. It's great that we have that canoe race because we need more people. And I share the spirit of Luis Garcia. Part of my reason for being involved is that we want people to be conscious or connected with their environment. And we have a lot of communities that live on the coast. And so it's important for the next generation, move away from your device, at least for your Sunday sailing,
Yeah.
and come out and reconnect.
All right, so I know you're inviting people out. Is there an opportunity also for more participants to join? How does that work? Anything else you'd like to share?
More participants for the
Race.
The race. Well, the races are geared towards the sailing clubs.
Yeah, the clubs,
Yes,
right.
so-
So they're fully aware.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This is something that we take very seriously.
Okay,
and
good.
the-
So Sabrina can just bring out the canoe and say,
I just
already.
can't go
Well, we have that open.
Okay.
have
Yeah,
an
if you
open-
show up with a sail and a boat, you
Yes.
sail, you come
Oh,
out.
Can,
and
yes,
It'll be an
yes.
exhibition sail because
Yes.
you don't have any competition. And some of us have one-man sail races, but there won't be any prizes for those.
And that is one of the things that the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta Committee prides itself on, is that the regatta is an opportunity to celebrate the seamanship and boating skills. And as Roberto keeps on saying, it's that community spirit and that it's family involvement and that is what we try to foster in the Harbor Regatta races.
Excellent.
You know, and these sailors come and they come with their family, they come with their teams, and it's amazing to see how these young people, how they work together, they help each other, and then you look at it and then you wonder at what point when we become adults do we become so, you know, confrontational and because
Divided.
when you, you know, and when you look at the young
kids. people,
you know, it is really heartwarming
Yeah.
to see this, you know.
Well, I'll be in the city for that long weekend this year, so I mean, you all have built excitement in me to attend, and it's even more exciting that there's actually a festival along with the race, and so I think that's a really good thing. Any final thoughts and something you may have looked over that you want to make sure the viewers know?
Well, I would like if you would give me the opportunity to thank our sponsors.
Sponsor.
Yes, the Baron Bliss Harbor Regatta is held under the patronage of the Governor General of Belize, who is the patron of the Baron Bliss Trust, the Government of Belize, Belize Tourism Board, Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, the Inter-American Development Bank, Bowen and Bowen, Mayors United, Lealtel, Tad Loyalty, Alpine Water, Joseph and Taylor Limited, Belize Port Authority, Belize Coast Guard, and of course we can't thank the Belize City Council enough for partnering with us this year.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you guys all the best.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
March
hopefully
8th.
I can
March
try.
That's
8th.
very, the
March
8th.
8th, yes.
The 8th.
Definitely
It's on
need
Sunday.
to try
Yes,
seal.
it's the Sunday. Maybe,
right.
maybe we could get you in a boat at some point.
Yeah,
though.
some point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. Our next conversation is staying connected with Smart's Trio Phone Plan.